Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be covering Titan Hulk. He made his first appearance in this most recent run of Hulk, issue number 6, that was released in April 2022. This run was setting up the highly anticipated crossover Hulk vs. Thor, Banner of War. And this Titan Hulk has also been called the Hulk's Hulk, standing approximately 30 feet tall, and I won't even try to guess his weight, which hasn't been listed. Also having glowing red eyes, no hair, and rough brown skin that has rock-like sharp protrusions from certain areas, such as his shoulders, in addition to very sharp teeth and long, rugged claws. It should also be noted that when the Hulk is at this maximum power level, he produces so much energy that he radiates it as a red-tinged lightning, which pours from his mouth and eyes. Now, since Titan Hulk is brand new, we don't know the exact limits of his abilities, but I'll be the one to go ahead and call it. I don't think he'll be used very much because I don't think that there'll be any being that can potentially rival his power levels. I mean, the dude is what the Hulk turns into when the Hulk gets out of control. Think about that. And knowing this, there's no need to go into what the Hulk himself can do, with us seeing various iterations of him over the years, which has clearly proven him to be the absolute strongest mortal being in existence. Now, to somewhat understand what Titan Hulk is, we actually need to look into what Starship Hulk is, and how the current relationship between Bruce Banner and the Hulk works. We see that in the first issue of this current volume, Bruce Banner has been able to split his consciousness and personality from that of the Hulk, with both of these coexisting inside of the Hulk's physical body. But unlike times in the past where the Hulk and Bruce Banner seem to coexist, this time Banner's mind exists wholly separately from the Hulk's, with the Hulk's consciousness trapped in what Banner calls the quote-unquote engine room, which is sort of a psychic version of the X-Men's danger room that fuels the Hulk's body strength by constantly forcing the Hulk's consciousness to battle psychic manifestations of some of his most powerful rivals, thus acting like a throttle on the rage of his physical body. This is a bit convoluted, but once you understand it, it makes sense. And we gather that Bruce achieved this by using magic, psychic abilities, and science, including surgically implanting cybernetic components in the Hulk's physical mind, making the Hulk body into a vessel which he literally pilots from a psychically constructed cockpit, similar to a Gundam mech-suit pilot. Oh, and there's one little detail that I need to mention. There's actually a third, somewhat unidentified consciousness within Bruce's cockpit, which seems to be masquerading as Bruce Banner's ex, Betty Ross, and she plays a key role in Titan appearing. Now, let's step back to take a look at when Bruce Banner took Starship Hulk on a journey through an experimental wormhole that was designed by Tony Stark just to get away from the Earth and all the people who stand to be hurt by Hulk's presence. But instead of going somewhere within his own universe, Starship Hulk ends up in an entirely different universe. One in which Bruce Banner never became the Hulk, but Hulk's old enemy, General Thunderbolt Ross, used his gamma tech to conquer the world as a dictator. Not wanting this powerful Starship Hulk roaming around in his reality, Ross tries to destroy him by sending waves and waves of gamma-powered Abomination monsters at him. This imminent threat causes the consciousness of Banner and Betty Ross to battle for control over the cockpit of Hulk's body, with the so-called Betty consciousness winning the struggle and pushing the Hulk's engine room throttle to its absolute limit, thus sparking power levels that have never been seen before. The absolute eruption of rage actually causes his outward physical body to change, as I stated earlier, overflowing with gamma energy and transforming into this towering Titan, who the Betty entity calls the Hulk's Hulk. This is the being that the Hulk becomes when he reaches the limits of his own rage. This brutal rage monster easily overpowers the huge, towering forces of Thunderbolt Ross. However, Banner was still locked out of the cockpit by the Betty entity. This would cause Banner to exercise a failsafe in which he allowed the Hulk's consciousness into the cockpit, where he would tear apart the Betty entity, allowing Banner to regain control and throttle Titan Hulk back down to Starship Hulk. Starship Hulk would then immediately escape into another wormhole and seemingly go back to the Marvel 616 universe, where he would immediately encounter Thor, setting up the Hulk vs. Thor Banner of War crossover event. And although there's still many questions about the Titan Hulk, especially the true identity of this Betty Ross entity, which by the way had at one point called him quote-unquote son, which could potentially imply that he's somewhat connected to Bruce's father, who appeared in Immortal Hulk. But as far as we know, it could be any evil, powerful magical being. Whatever the case, let's just hope that Bruce didn't make too bad of a deal with the devil when seeking help for the creation of Starship Hulk. Now, for his powers and abilities, and his brief influence on the Marvel Universe so far, for my 1 to 10 rating, I have to give Titan Hulk a rating of 10, which is a legendary rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join the new Sage.